who are much more direct and contacty.
Yeah, and that certainly didn't work out. Like this wall that we're seeing in play, this is a direct shutdown of any attempt to move towards the seaside. B is wide open, completely empty, and that means the stack up is exactly where BBL are going. They've lost 3 to Serial alone, and now no ground, nothing to fall back on, no information. They have to hope for a godlike pistol round, and I mean, Profec's been pretty reliable in them.
Well, they're really going to need him to be. That will help. A swing from Padatek looking for information. That has definitely not gone his way. The push-up, though, from Nats is reclaiming a lot of that space. It's giving his teammates the information that, okay, they are slowly making their way towards this side of the map, and I don't know if there's going to be anybody quick enough to react to stop him from getting this kill. Very easy stuff. And for Profec, 35 seconds left on the clock. I think the only real decision he has here, try and fight Nats and find a gap. Otherwise, heading into the inside, when a player has flanked you like that,
yok.
you know
Amına
it should be
koyayım
stacked
ya.
up.
Ne oldu gene kanka ya?
To see from our perspective, as Nats has played it really smart, just backing off. And now he'll be more than ready for this. Is this going to be a tap? Oh, well, there's not even a chance for it. They're straight on him, you know. They don't even wait.
In this series while they're 2-1 up in maps, which really does show, firstly, how much more dominant
Bir can.
was than the rest of them.
Ya ölsene, ölsene.
But just how integral he has been. A lot of damage done initially. But you can see that Nats has just backed off, put camo into position.
Dönüp mid'e girsenize.
And with how little is currently available for this attacking side, anything they can get would be nice.
Evet, evet oğlum. One more. Gördük mü lan? Oğlum silah aldık lan. Ne diyorsunuz ya? Güzel oyun. Abi bir can net. Bak. Bak kanka bak. Bak kafayı yersin bak. Profek onu da vurdun lan. Ah. Enti oğlum. 16 canla 2 kill aldı amına koyayım. Yapmayın şunu. 30 kere söyledik ya. O ne? Shotgun mı var onda? Ya full bonus oynuyorlar. Bu roundu temiz almamız lazım ve B'ye giriyoruz. Hoşuma gitmedi. Abi double door. Hayır. Tamam bir tane. Güzel drone. Çok güzel oğlum, bravo. Bravo. Nets yakın. Helal lan sana lane. İkiler. Çok güzel lan. O neydi amına koyayım? Güzel. Sıkıntı yok. Çok iyi. 4v1 bir can. Dilenme. Aynen kanka hadi. Çok güzel round. Mi babalar. Yalan atma. Armor'ı da olacak. Ay, marklayamadı. 2'yi biliyoruz. Gördün lan. 3 oldular burada. Çevirin artık ya. Aynen. Evet. Aynen öyle. A'da ikiler. C'den daha iyidir ya. Salıyorlar
This is
mı?
what I was talking about though.
Killjoy ulti var bu arada.
Because that's the one site of the map where the lockdown really sucks. Like it's like, okay, you can clear them from the site, but how far they can play back, it really doesn't have the same value. Whereas the A site, you can clear the whole site, you can clear heaven, you can clear hundo.
Temiz,
It's great.
temiz.
The B site, even better. It's
Buyurun,
a tiny
buyurun
little
plant.
site. So they have forced them into the site they wanted them to be in. And now they're going to look to try and
Killjoy ulti geldi.
ready with that lockdown in
Kurmadık bu arada. Çıkıyoruz. Daha zaman yok ki abi. Ya ama bunun farkında olmamız lazım ya. Çok iyi. 15 saniye. C'ye gidilir. C'ye gidilir. Geldi, CT geldi. Güzel. 2v3 double. Hızlı oynayacak. Onu vur be.
Very well played by Team Liquid. I do like the idea from BBL to go back.
Well, for BBL, economy's not in too bad a spot. They had 4 players survive in the previous round. But if they were to lose this one,
4 A'lar abi. 4 A.
That ideal start for Team Liquid on this defense.
Ve agro yapacaklar. Eyvah.
The defensive aggression.
Çok güzel oğlum.
And he'll get his reward. Down to 10 HP. Reactions in.
Tamam, çıktı oradan.
His
Güzel.
teammates quickly flood in to cover him on the cross back.
Geliyor. Abi.
Perfect in the timing for Patatek. We're back to a 4v4. And the rotations
daha
have come
dönün
in.
ya.
Patatek's left with the task of holding A.
Nice lan Magnum.
Of course, he
Döndür
saw
oğlum.
players falling back, but Serial doesn't expect that Magnum has gotten quite
Yok
that
başka, yok
deep, or
başka.
if he did, he has not
CT'den
won that
almasın.
aim fight.
Tamam. Bura kritik profek.
Camo's now left to try to wrap
Profek
it around.
abi, timing bir kere bizim yanımızda olsun ya.
Played, Camo. I didn't think he would have checked that.
No, last second decision. Plant will be coming in. Orb down, which I like the positioning from Nats's orb.
3 CT oynuyorlar. Hadi oğlum, hadi oğlum vurun. Nice, bu bir. Güzel. 1v1. Bunu Soshi yapma, Soshi.
I expected with the Hunter's Fury he'd be long gone, but instead he gets up front and that gives Patatek the chance he needs.
Far from the truth. The defense has looked nigh on
Lane'in
untouchable.
bıçakları derim.
And in the one round where it came close, they still won out the clutch.
That is an interesting smoke. It's mostly just in a wall. I don't know if there's like a tiny gap that could maybe help dodge something, or if it's
hide
just
from the
completely
reveal.
missed.
Yeah, I think it's an anti-reveal one.
It's such a tiny gap in the wall though. Oh well. Nats, he is spotted.
Oh, çok iyi.
Well, it seemed that way, but he kind of saw
C'ye girdik. Çok iyi.
to death if that was the
Aa,
case.
ne yapıyor Soshi?
Camo's now trying to work out where he's safe to go. That wasn't the answer, but he
Tamam,
still
trade
wants to
geldi.
fight.
Tamam,
And
sıkıntı
this
yok.
blade storm
Ay,
has
bu
had
çocuğun
very
bıçakları
little.
ya.
We want to see this man playing the jet. It might be because
Abi
there are
lame
a
jeti
slight
ya.
gaps
İnanılmaz
when it
oynuyor
comes to
herif
the other
bıçakları.
agent pool, but it's also because you put those knives in his hands and most of the time you're getting around.
Nicely handled.
Abi nazar değmesin de ya demeyeceğim ya. Demeyeceğim, çok iyi abi.
Okay, but every little helps at this point. Are you going to be able to win the round? No. But he might be able to make it more costly. And that's a risk that perhaps he's willing to take, because certainly this isn't the most passive.
Levine orb kasmaca mı ya sürekli?
Here's the steps. They're on the way. This is his chance to set them up for success and coming round.
Bak dönüp onu da vurdu. İnanılmaz bir çocuk ya.
Ölürüz
ya Levin'in bıçaklara. Hadi oğlum, hadi güzel eko çaldık. Eko çaldık, hadi oğlum.
But yeah, typically the reason you put it down is just so that you can hide in it, but they can't see it. And I know it definitely looks a lot of the time like there's even just barely enough space for you to hide in.
Tamam, güzel.
Team Liquid, they're forced back from their mid-aggression.
Their economy is in the bin this round. Like, it's a lot more damage done than maybe expected. As I think that was a Guardian purchased up, but most of the players are around that sort of 2,
Oğlum Yampi terste kaldı lan.
credit mark, and you can see Sheriff bought up the
Bridge'siz nasıl
Serial.
var? C'ye bir baktık, A mı dönüyoruz? Midi pushluyorlar abi. Abi geldiler abi. Yampi ultimiz vardı.
BBL. Now do take into consideration the ultimates. Overdrive is one that teams are normally fairly happy to throw in, and you look at where Camo has already managed to get.
Çok güzel lan, bravo oğlum. İyi entry, hadi. Çok güzel lan Yampi. Döndürme, döndürme. Döndürme, hayır döndürme. Allah'ım. Allah'ım.
The TP in, it's gonna be very confusing. In fact, Camo's currently flanking.
Dur bakayım.
While also being
abi geldi.
No idea. Nats is now caught another. This is starting to become truly dangerous for the
Kamo
side of
bekliyor
BBL.
shortta. Kamo shortta. Kamo shortta. Kamo'nun ölmesi lazım. Kamo'nun vandalı var. Kamo çok free. Abi. Döndürme, döndürme.
And for Sociable, there is just no time. He's got to try and stick this and will not be able to. It is a misread of massive proportions for BL.
Take a misstep that, well, puts them way behind. This was, you started out the round by saying one where Team Liquid didn't have a lot of economy to play with. Well, it doesn't seem to matter in the slightest.
Ya bir de abi orada dönmenin ya neyse ya. Yampi birini vurdu, iki kişiyi de duydu orada yani. Kafayı yiyeceğim ya. Sol platform bakılacak değil mi? Platform bakılacak mı?
With how far forward that player has gone, and Mark Sociable finds himself in the exact same position as before. Paranoia to leave him completely blind, but unlike most people, he has decided to push forward off of it. That dart is enough though for Patitek to reveal his opponent and land the shot. 6-2.
But it only means so much. Reveal goes through. They're safely inside it, down on long, and let's peek out from Camo. Oh my goodness! He's picked up a double. He's just decimated them. They thought that numbers are supposed to be safety in them, but not this time. 5 versus 2.
Bak çok sinirliyim şu an ya.
They've got nothing, not even flank protection at this point.
Gun here.
Oh, what do you even do at this stage? Profek has resorted to sitting in a corner with a judge and Sociable. He's been left last alive in a lot of these rounds. I'm not sure if he will be in this one because that would mean that Profek has to die first.
Timeout lazım da timeout'umuz var mı?
Thinking about rounding this corner. Either way, eventually it will be Patitek to take down Sociable for another.
Soshi duello kazanamıyor.
This judge is going to need to pull off a miracle. 7-2.
But for Team Liquid, it really feels like they just can't take a step wrong.
Helal oğlum lan.
To start this one out at least, BBL have a different approach. A full blitz. The 3 musketeers, it goes towards A. The long
flash bir şey. Yampi flash at şuraya piklesin çocuk. Nice oğlum Soshi. İyisin.
But look at this. Viper's pick comes up. Now they've got to fight through that. And even with the info, they're not dealing with Nats. Not just yet. And in fact, they don't want to go through the pit. They're backing off.
Yeah,
this looked like a site that was theirs for the taking.
They were hoping that the stun would help, but it's just a split second too late. That piece of utility hasn't helped them at all. And well, you say they're not going to go through the pit. It looks like they're going to try and maybe clip the edge of it. They're just halting for a second. Obviously already having that man advantage in play. The expectation is, okay, the other players are going to rotate away. They're going to leave.
Oy, Magnum!
And Magnum's patience pays off. That leaves the remaining 2 players
İlaç
not
gibi,
particularly
ilaç
close
gibi
by,
kill.
but they are still very wary. They've been burnt before.
I don't know what happened to the trip on long. If it got shock darted early, but it's gone. It's not there to play with.
Çok iyi.
Çok
iyi. Arka olabilir.
With the rifle in hand.
Şüpheliyiz.
It's a good job too. As Serial's about to round that corner. He might get a free pick on sight. Indeed he does.
Bravo. Bravo. Bravo Magnum. Aferin oğlum lan. Düşmedin. Aferin Martin.
Or perhaps
And sure, there's definitely still hope going into that defensive side, but it's been the attack that has really been what shines bright for BBL. Levin looking to try and lead the charge. A nice
Nets
start
oynuyor
to help him
yalnız.
out, but Nats is there in
Şunu vur, şunu vur.
He is completely blinded though, and that will be an easy pick for Yumpy. There's still a couple of players looking to go back in, but the aftershock should deny, and Kiko adds
İyi
a
lan,
little
iyi
bit
damage,
more than
iyi
a tickle.
damage'lar. Çok güzel.
Alright, it looks like BBL are back in the game. Profex picked up on the count.
Back in the game amına koyayım. Back in the business. Hadi.
Playing that aggressive stance. Ready to swing from two different angles.
Bravo Magnum. Soşi aferin hadi.
Ease. 7-4. Look, we said it was still possible for it to spiral into Liquid's control. Well, it's also possible for BBL to bring this back into a pretty...
Soşi savunmada harbiden açılır ya. Sovası iyidir.
2-7-5s and a 6-6 so far in first.
Abi lane bıçakları beyler. Arkadaşlar lane bıçakları.
There has been a dominant second one. That was Icebox. A map that Liquid won.
Bunu gör, bunu gör.
Comfortable
kırdı.
fashion.
Ayıkalım.
The previous pick.
Evet lane oğlum. Baksana ya makina ya çocuk. Baksana makine çocuk makina. Sakin 5 ve 2. Hiçbir şey yapmayın. Freeze.
On the cards unless Serial and Panatek have something to say about it.
Just a great read as well. The drone getting broken in window. Why would someone be facing like that unless they were breaking it for a more aggressive player? Levin comes out of the window immediately.
Abi bir şey yapmak zorundalar.
Stun was on that player as well. So no real
Tamam
chance,
çok güzel aya gittiler. Harika. 31.
A high mobility target like Levin firing all 5 knives at you.
Bomboş C site'e girdik. Çok güzel karar.
Into the C site, they've chosen the correct spot as well. We've seen big misplays where one player gets a pick on A, then Liquid wrap in, have full control of that site, and then BBL look to execute on it.
Toplanıp C kolu güzeldi.
They've gotten the easier of the two sites. And as you said, Serial and Patty. I mean, it's practically an impossible task. Look how much space they have to clear. And even seeing one player on site,
bravo
that's a death sentence. Because Serial, well, he gets locked in.
Bravo.
Take that player down.
Çok iyisiniz lan.
Oh, it hasn't worked.
Hadi pistol, pistol, pistol, pistol, pistol. Ne olur tabanca.
A pistol under the belt. That has sort of been the story
4 ayız.
of most of the maps.
Magnum B'de.
Is that the pistols have mostly gone in favor of their opponents. We'll have to see if they can sort of break that trend. Prophet came close when it was on Icebox with 4 kills of his own, but for now at least it's going to be that pacey hit towards the B site. Magnum is waiting.
Abi headshot ya.
Well, he hits the right click, but it is
Oğlum A geldiler.
The remaining players are
çok iyi. Çok iyi lan, helal lan size. Bu.
They have walked into a 3-man crossfire.
Bu.
Had the B side, they had a 2-man advantage. And BBL must
nice, çok iyi oğlum. Profet, aferin lan.
Accidentally walked into the stack.
Another big round for Profet.
4A beklemiyorlardı. Bu arada çok iyi gol. Ya yani çok iyi okumuşuz adamları.
On this second round. That was a crazy upset of a round.
Vur oğlum, vur oğlum, vur oğlum, vur oğlum, vur. Ne yapıyor? Kör o, kör kör. Oğlum vur lan. Ha. Bravo Profet, gel beni de vur oğlum. 7-7. Hadi. Haydi. Defansız. Hadi oğlum. Abi bu tempoyu koruyalım. Bu tempoyu koruyalım lütfen.
Hey, when he's 16 and 7, Levin is 14 and 10. I don't think there's going to be anybody in the BBL.
Şu bonusu almamız lazım. Tempo için bonusu alalım hadi.
It's probably one of the players you want to have that high energy to be activated early on. This guy's going to be bringing
Levin. I don't know. I'd argue any of them high energy is
Soşi,
more important.
çok tehlikeli.
Also, I'd say someone like Profek, once he gets rounds like that, he's in the overheat zone. He could potentially start to play a little bit loosey-goosey, and especially on Haven.
Sociable overheat normally ends in an ace.
That's true. Yeah, it's one or the other.
Look at where he is right now, by the way. I slowly try. This is such an obscure position that if this is cleared, I'll be a little bit surprised. He's actually going to go aggressive, expecting something around the back of the wall. This is definitely a position that you expect him to go down from, and well, eventually Nats will get that job done.
I don't mind his idea though to get so aggressive with the shocks. Look at the damage done. You've got two players desperately low, and the repush now, there's no way you expect that. Nats is going back. I mean, you're playing against Nats. He's going to expect you to come behind, of course. His read on this is perfect, but his HP not good enough to fight.
Nice oğlum. One more.
A second player spotted. The smoke saves.
Çok iyi lan. Hadi. A gittiler. Tamam. 4 ve 3. Silahlarımız da var. Dikkat buraya oğlum. Ah, amına koyayım be. Bura önemli. O ne oğlum, nereye aldı? CT'yi aldı herif. Bekle, CT oynama, bekle. Bura oynasın. Bura dikkat oğlum. Dash yok mu? Nice. Nice. Yampi. Bir can herif. Nice. Çok güzel be. Helal lan Yampi. Ne oldu, giremedim mi?
So I think this pause, although important for Liquid to try and steady the ship, is also important for BBL to go, okay, we don't want to overextend.
Gördü
and it seems like they've already got the information on Levin's position. We've seen
gördü ya abi, gördü.
The success is not massive and one. It's only going to be the one.
The main thing was the surprise
factor. Yedi.
Profit.
Çok güzel Magnum.
It's not really going to surprise them.
Yaşatma bu.
Magnum spamming gets dropped
Beyler.
as well. This is, I mean, traded
Ananı.
very efficiently so far.
2 ve 2.
They're making a weak round look hyper competitive.
Bomba bizde. Sakin.
The spike is down in the open though, and that's the one major downfall. Even getting in
Oy Yampi.
for Padatech, as it would have come back online soon, is
çok güzel stun.
easy, not possible as his head.
Haha Yampi taşşak geçiyor. 5 mermi.
They've been pretty consistent in that.
Çok iyisin lan Lem. Güzel entry. Ne oldu lan, Yampi nerede öldü? Short'ta ölmüş.
Comes through, they see and hear a lot of presence inside of garage and want to respond in kind by taking the presence on A, but Nats is watching that as always.
Bravo Lem. Trade derim. Onu da vur lan. Oy! Neler yapıyor bu çocuk. Geldi. Kal öyle vuracağım.
Never mind. Serial wins the fight.
Clinical with the headshots.
Geriden geliyoruz. Chat, geriden geliyoruz. Zaten o yaşandı. Replay izliyor gibi düşünün. 2 ve 2. Tamam, sıkıntı yok. 2 ve 2. Eyvallah. Sub giftin için çok sağ ol.
9-8, the gap kept close for now. And more passive of a hold around garage. That said, Magnum goes shifting into the smoke. We've seen him in that position before. He's not one to give away those advantages, and he cannot fall with his trap watching the A short push up. That's going to be a big factor of how they keep this control late into the round.
Toxins going up.
Already a hefty presence onto the middle of the map. We've seen this a lot where Sociable's goal is almost just to find spam shots if anybody looks to try and head into the A site. It seems like maybe with that Viper's Pit available, having that sort of close sight battle could be huge.
Ah, hızlı oynuyoruz. Onu vur lan. Çok iyi Profek. Tamam, okey. 2 ve 3 ama. Levin ölmüş. 5 can ya Profek.
Shock dart into the corner. It's landed on Nats, but there's a shorty waiting for re-aggression.
Çok iyi.
On the left side. Profek's got 3 already. This is dangerous now, but the shorty showing its face and Profek being 5 HP.
Koru.
He might just have to back out.
Amına koyayım ya.
Yeah, he does. Giving respect to that buy in the end and giving the round to Team Liquid. That's going to be 9 on the board now for the attacking side. And if you're BBL, It could be a moment for deja. God knows, Liquid potentially having a good start and putting the series to bed. This is dangerous now. Camo's gone through garage. It's going to be Levin that he's coming up against, but the stun doesn't quite land in the corner. And Camo avoids it completely.
Helal lan Soshi. Abi bu adam. Oh. İyi ultime. Yapma. Gidecek A'ya gidecek. Magnum.
He's managed to just tap those remaining players. The reveal at least will give
Tamam
away the game
Magnum
that they
geldi.
made it onto the other side of the map. Magnum even going to try and get.
Çok hızlı geldi, çok iyi geldi. Evet oğlum.
Got the close range weapon in hand and will be able to.
Oh, oradan da bir de Magnum, neler diyorsun sen ya? Gel bir de benim infomu al ya. Çöz ya, çöz kanka, çöz. Çöz, vuramaz o, çöz. Evet. Oğlum ne yaptı Magnum? Çok iyi oyun, çok iyi oyun. Aman. Lane göstermedi galiba. Vur lan onu. Tamam, problem yok. Tamam, problem yok, çıktı çocuk. Tam bir tara lan. Ay. Ne olur ki ya, oradan bir iki headshot gitse falan.
There's nobody running away with it to the same degree. Minute left on the clock for Liquid to play with. Hunter's Fury ve
Lockdown. Anlatıyor şimdi takıma.
Access to the site.
Campi vursana şunu ya, vur kafasına ya. Çeksene, beyin tomografisini çeksene şunu.
For what is sociable from above. Like they are fairly happy to play the retake because a lot of the time he will manage to get them some sort of advantage. Yumpy's going to go walkabouts and with no information.
Ya vurun şunu ya. Kaç vurdu abi adam?
All on his own. Nats will finally be dealt with, but well, now you're kind of just looking at sociable to see what he can do, hoping that he'll get something. But you can see the Liquid are well aware of the potential. Camo, well, he's.
Ne oldu ya? Ne oldu oğlum?
But the job is done in the round.
Win's a win at the end of the day. Huge round by Nats. You got to send 4 players after him before you can take him down, and that flank protection working wonders for Team Liquid as they now know where that last player is. Levin is out of here. Element of surprise gone. All he can do is save the weapon.
Can be put into play here. Padatek's going to be setting up the shock dart, so they should have a decent idea that somebody's here. Profek with a pistol will be the first to peek, and well, that is easy pickings for Liquid here.
That was a lot of damage done by that shock dart as well, making it so much easier in the main fight. Rifle and Stinger, full rotations, 3 players in position, but again, Nats has been consistent in holding down the flank. This time, he's pushing up on it a bit, claiming full short control, seeing no aggression. The call is made to move back in this direction. The danger is that someone's lurking around a corner, but as we can see, it's only the Cypher utility that's left as point of contact on this A site. The camera has heard the steps. It's being destroyed as it saw Nats on short. But they are way too far away to do anything about this plant. And this weapon is the only real thing that looks favorable for them. Unbelievable performance. Did 5v3. I'm not sure that they needed the flank, but now Serial's given them a weapon. Perhaps a chance.
Yeah, I do question though whether or not just holding onto these guns is more worthwhile.
Nice. Ah, trade alınsa. O net Yumpy'yi vurmasa.
Didn't go any further.
Single pick. This is what we look at as something that turns the tide completely in
Var
your
mı
favor.
entry?
When Nats has that control. Now they'll go for a direct play. Straight into the site. Hunter's Fury chasing them down. Camo's going to be stunned, but he's safe in the corner for now. Profek
Onu vur.
staying alive, and Camo's good for 1.
Nice Soshi. Vur onu, nice. 3 ve 2 sakin. Markladı. Markladı. Evet. Gördük. Nice lan Yampi. Çok iyi. Bravo, bravo Soshi. O mark var ya, çok önemliydi ya, drone markı. Nasıl markladı lan drone'la? Ball'da izleyemiyoruz ki amına koyayım, replay de yok. Helal Soshi.
And already the opening pick, it's Camo who's dropped. The danger man
400 çok iyi.
dealt with in the previous round from within his pit. And he's walking up short alone, but it looks like they are ready and waiting to peek him. In fact, not waiting. They are just swinging in. Nats took to the corner. If he steps out, he's going to have to fight for his life.
Oynamak zorundalar, dönemezler.
Even still though, they're yet to make the move back. The aggressive position of mailden is the reason that the BBL are still so confident. The trips are online as well into middle. And normally you'd see this utility challenged for, damaged, or at least attempted to be removed, but as of right now, it seems like Liquid are kind of tunnel visioned in. I don't know what it is they've seen that makes them confident.
O ne amına koyayım, dönüşe bak Patitekin ya. Nice Yampi. Bir kişi 3v1. Magnum koş.
Spike dropped. He does have
nice.
It's going to be impossible. Yumpy makes sure of it. 12th round, another chance at a victory in the map.
Standing ahead. That could send them all the way. The attack side of Team Liquid clutching on to their chances in this upper bracket, desperately trying to avoid the fall all the way to the lower bracket, and it will be BBL who give them that scar if they find this here.
Oh, leading the way is Camo. They're going to have a decent idea that Sociable loves to try and find those spams. Rolling Thunder going to be utilized as they'll try and get back into the site. Shock darts being thrown through. Nats is the first to fall. Close in the corner is one. As the drone revealed, but now has been dealt with as well. That's the close range player already gone from action.
Ne olur o tarz şeyler yaşanmasın, ne olur. Hiklemek zorunda. Hiklemek zorunda. Nice! Nice! Bu! İntikam amına koyayım, intikam! Yallah Lovra!
History for BBL as they claim victory over